record, really. All right. So, Ole Dammegård, you can find Ole Dammegård at lightonconspiracies.com if you are wondering. And making sure everything is recording, everything looks good. So here we are. And like I say, lightonconspiracies.com, Ole Dammegård, he's back on the show. And we're going to talk about maybe like the spiritual aspects of this moment. And I'll get into why. But first of all, Ole, thanks for being on again. You're a busy guy. You're kind of like the Strider of, of the Tolkien, trilogy. You're kind of like the archetypal king of what you do. So it's a it's a real honor to have you on. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm in a new phase of my life where I'm taking a step back. I've been down this rabbit hole for some 40 odd years, and I've done more than 1,300 interviews. I really tried my utmost to help share information that can be of use for the world in unveiling what is actually going on. But we're talking different levels. The street level is one thing where all of this horror takes place and stuff like that. And then you got a spiritual level where it's a battle between good and evil. And then you got a higher level where everything is the divine level, where everything is just great. And it's just us having all of these experiences. So it was like for some 4 decades, I had like this drive inside of me where it was like, I really feel that I'd signed some kind of contract, maybe before I came down on this earth, maybe round or flat, where it's sort of like, this is my dharma and I have to do it whatever happens, whatever, because I put myself at harm's end many times as a one-man band, and asking myself when it happened, like, because I've been very scared and very like, most things that you see in movies and stuff in a bad way has happened to me. So I have a whole library of traumas and whatever, but my life task has been to try and transcend these horrible things into something that can be of value and into blessings, because it has given me a lot greater empathy and understanding for other people who are going through similar ways. But anyway, so it felt that I had this drive to continue. And then at the end of last year, it felt like the finishing line. I did several interviews with the shooter from the grassy knoll, James Files, the guy behind the picket fence, it was actually his shot in 1980. That the first time I saw the Zapruder film and I saw the shot coming from the wrong direction, that was the thing that like, whoa, this is just wrong. That the official narrative, I didn't understand why it had taken me all of these years to get an almost clear picture of what happened that day. But it was his shot, and for me to find him after all of these years, support him for some 20 years in getting the truth out there, and then finally doing personal interviews with him. He's now in his 80s. Was sort of, it felt like the circle was complete, and I was completely exhausted. And then I got an invitation to South Africa, and I just said to my sweetheart, put me in a wheelbarrow, get me to the airport, and just heave me on board of the plane, and let's go. And after that, my life has taken another turn, because I've taken a step back. I've been calling out, hello, maybe it's time to look over there, and like something is going on. For all of these years, some people have listened, others have not. But I just felt it's also come to a level of craziness and manipulation of images and videos and sound now with AI that, I mean, God knows what is true and what isn't. You can't really look at anything anymore with any kind of to believe that this is actually happening. So I decided, and I felt also energy-wise, that this was the right thing to do, to just take a step back and observe and focus on keeping the inner balance, not being pushed around by now this is happening, boom, and wars here and this and that. Because I don't know, I don't even know, is it real? Did it really happen? Did it not? And so I try to do my utmost for myself, my loved ones, and for the world in my actions wherever I am. But I've taken a step. I've said no to many interviews, but I just felt there was something when you sent me in the invitation. I followed my heart, and boom, yeah, let's do it. And so here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Well, let's see what it was about. Let's see what the calling was about.
Yeah, I'm looking
Because
forward to it.
yeah, because kind of took a break. I wouldn't even say took a break from the show. Was just busy with other things that I had to focus on. So it's been a little bit, and the interviews have been a little bit sparse. But recently decided to give it a big, push again to get weekly shows going, and we have a bunch of weekly shows lined up. Great people. You're the first. You were the first person I thought of, and then got you scheduled. Then people just started to fall into place every week after. So we'll be busy for a while. Content will be coming out, and so there's something cool about this moment for sure. And I like that you mentioned there's like the street level, the spiritual level, and the higher level, because I think that's something definitely to focus on. Well, right now, since you're taking a break, it kind of makes sense, because I think there comes this point where in so many aspects of life, and you're taking on a big calling, we go, I can't do it all. And you just become overwhelmed, exhausted, discouraged. And, I had kind of a feeling like that, like, recently, where I went, I need to toss the ball to somebody else, you know, just stop, chill out, get into the I am presence and see who else begins to run with it. It's almost like you have to take a step back so that someone else can take a step forward. Like, are you waiting? I'm just curious, like, are you kind of intuitively expecting to see other people sort of start to pick up where you left off and go further?
No, I haven't stopped. I've just changed my approach.
Mm,
So I'm still doing, but I'm creating space for something new,
mm,
because I kept filling it, kept filling it, kept filling it, and so now I'm trying to create space, and also use AI in a way, in a useful way that can maybe simplify my life a bit. And then I know that you're talking about calling. I know there's a calling. I've always had it. That there's, and I'm not there yet. For the
mm.
real reason I'm here, it's a whole new step, and I don't know what that looks like. But I know that for me to take that step, I need to be as healed inside as possible, as balanced as possible, as fearless as possible, and so I try to focus on that. And while doing that, I get these old layers of crap coming up to the surface, like weird things of old anger and irritation. I'm like, what is going on? This is not really me. But there are these, it feels like, if you look at mud under the water, sometimes there are these bubbles come like up to the surface.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, what was that? And so it's also really interesting, because I've had problems with my teeth,
Mm.
and the way I see it, they're very symbolic roots, my roots of my past, and my roots to the past. So now I had to pull out a tooth, pull out
Wow.
these two. No, yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's painful, but also it's the purification of letting go of the
Oh,
old, and the past, and things that has served me but is no longer serving me. So I'm on painkillers right now,
mm.
and it's just this process, because I think we're in a super confusing, exciting like time, because there's all of these paradox. There's like the death and the birth at the same time. The old is dying, but it's not death. It's not the end, because there's at the very same time this birth of something completely new is going on, and the raising of energy and the. So it's like I see many people are like whoa, 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 like this, and. And I also feel that in this shift, there's going to be a time, or there is a time already, where it's very important that some of us are steady enough to reach out with a hand saying, listen, don't worry, don't be scared. It's just a process, you know. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. It's just an illusion, just to get us through this last passage, just like when a child is being born. The fetus has no idea what's going on. The whole life is inside the stomach of its mother. And I think when we're in there, we have no idea that there's a whole new world waiting on the other side. But it's a bit painful and bloody and pressing and squeezing. And you feel like, oh my God, I'm dying, I'm dying. No, you're being born. And so on the other side, I mean, I have no idea what the future is going to look like, because I would not be surprised if it suddenly changed like this, boom, just like when we were given birth, and suddenly like, whoa, it just expands in front of us. And there's this oneness appearing instead of this play that we've had been going on with duality and competition and all of these boring things, you know, that I really am looking forward to a oneness.
Looking forward to a oneness. I like that. Well, you know, it seems like kind of feeling the pulse of a lot of people. It seems like a lot of people are going through exactly what you're speaking of. I mean, sometimes we're just going through something and we think, well, you know, we'll ask people, our communities, hey, is anybody else feeling this, thinking this? And you get back this resounding like, yes, exactly that, as a matter of fact. And so it seems like, are you aware of other people going through similar, I almost call it like a realignment?
Yeah,
Because
it's like,
it seems pretty global. With those who have that bit of awakening, it seems like everybody's stuck with this right now.
you know, I think like somebody said that it was an old guru, I believe, that in 2012, he said that humanity will be divided into two. There will be
Yes.
like a train station and a train, and where some decides, the people who are in, if we call it, I call it 3D reality, you know, the square, the box that we were brought up inside, where we were being told, as long as you follow the rules and pay the tax and question nothing, and your parents are always right, and the government are there to help you, the military is doing the great thing, and all of these, don't question anything and everything will be fine. 3D reality. Then some of us, for some reason, started out on this adventure, like this hero's journey, where it often starts with, just like in the movies, something happens, a trauma, an accident, a death, a divorce, or something, you know, life is like this, and something just like in the movies, boom, and it starts, this journey starts, often painful, but some of us get out on this journey, and it's not an easy one. Some prefer to stay in the 3D, others are out searching, and then we go on this hero's journey. We meet many obstacles and dragons, and we're chasing for the prince or princess or whatever, and at this all time, we're sort of raising the frequency, just like on a radio receiver, when you're sort of like, you go from one stage then to the next one, there's this in between, this where you just like, oh, I don't know, I am confused, I'm like, what's going on? I'm depressed. No, I'm not. I'm really excited. Am I? You know, this time of personal growth, also meeting all of these obstacles, and where at every time you have the chance to go back into the more safe 3D reality, where everything stays the same. You go back to the same pub like 30 years ago, and they will still be there telling the
Yes.
same jokes and going to the same football games. Whatever that was for you, it's there. You can always go back. But anyway, one day we come to what I call 4D reality. I have no idea about these. If there, I'm sure there's other better words for this whole thing, but I call it 4D reality. Boom, where in 4D reality, suddenly from you hit another radio station, and this one, it looks the same, but everything is upside down. We're suddenly in an inverted reality where the people behind the agenda has been all the time, and where in this 4D reality, we get into this confusing state where many of us are right now, where it's like, this makes no sense. I mean, what's going on? And this is, people say the world is mad. I say absolutely not. It's just upside down. It's inverted. So good is bad, bad is good, black is white, white is black. This is the world of the agencies, the CIA. We're behind the mirror. So when we're being informed, oh, this injection is so good for you, will just
So
boost your health, I would say if question it at least, because before anything good, anything they try to ban, I would very much like for you to look into, because it can be extremely interesting. Why are they trying to ban it and call it bad when it's actually, when you look at it, whoa, this is just super stuff, ivermectin, you name it, like holy Moses, it got like the Nobel Prize in medicine, and now suddenly they're trying to ban it. What's going on? Make up your mind. And so anyway, so we go to 4D reality, and here's where the confusion comes for many of us, where we're sort of like, we're starting just like on a radio receiver in 3D reality, say that the radio receiver that looks like identical is always playing classical music. Now you come in 4D reality, and suddenly you have like, oh my God, Jimi Hendrix, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all of it, rapping, all of that. And you're going, holy moly, I need to share whatever I experience here, all the truths I see here, with my friends, the close ones, in 3D reality. This is often a spouse, family members, parents, and you start telling them, oh my God, this is crazy, that this thing that you think are good, it's actually bad. This is that. No, it's awful. They're trying to do this. They're doing this. The people you trust are completely corrupt. I mean, you think that they're there for your good. They're not. And so you start talking to 3D reality, the people that was close to you before, and suddenly you find, we can't speak the same language. It's the same words, but the meaning. So you have this complete separation, and it's very painful. And many people go into anger or frustration or depression or sadness and loneliness, and think they're all alone, because like, I can't talk to anyone. They don't get it. I mean, I'm saying, listen to the radio. It's Jimi Hendrix, and they're sitting, really? It's Beethoven. I tell you, it's Beethoven. This dude is crazy. There's something going on. He's been listening too much to these type of shows. He's like a tinfoil hat or a sect or drugs. I don't know what's going on, but it's not, so, and it's just a matter of different frequencies. It's different radio stations. No one is right. No one is wrong. Both are right, but different frequencies. And suddenly you will find yourself in a situation where you cannot communicate anymore with whoever that person is. It can be your partner, your wife, or your husband, your daughter, your parents, your best friend. And suddenly you can only speak about golf or cooking or whatever, like X Factor. That's where you can meet. Otherwise, as soon as you go into these areas, oh, boom. So I would strongly suggest that anyone in this situation, please understand, it's nobody's fault. You're not better or worse or whatever. It's just that communication is not you are not no longer on the same frequency, and you cannot meet. One of you have to change to the other radio station. And for people who have been in 4D reality, it's more or less impossible to go back to 3D. It's like, how can you not know how to ride a bicycle? I mean, you knew it, and then how can you not knew? How can you not see what you do? How can you unlearn what you learn? You cannot. So it's a very painful separation. And I think the vax was an incredible. The whole COVID operation was an incredible separation. It just showed you that we're being split up like a cell that is just like boom, and suddenly there are two cells, different cells, but from the same origin. And that is how life is created. But anyway, if you take the same 3D and 4D reality like to the train station, 3D being the train station and 4D being the train. So this guru many years ago, he said that in 2012, the population of the world will be in these two groups. 2012, woo woo, the train will start moving out. You can still get off and on. You can still shout and talk to each other. Come on, come on. You know, we're still on the same level, but it's moving out. 2015, he said the train will start, getting speed harder and harder for us to reach each other. We will have to shout and wave and whatever. Can still jump on, still jump off. But 2020, he said, by then, boom, it's just way, way, way separated. And so he said, there's no way. I think there is a way still, what I call the popcorn effect, which is like some people, especially people that have been in 3D with very like, no, I'm not going to listen. I'm educated. I have my whole career based on this thing that I've been indoctrinated with. I am not. And then one times, for whatever reason, I see sometimes, boom, it's just like the brain just go, or the barrier just go, boom, and they see it. And these people move super fast, like supersonic, from being stubborn and square-headed into like, oh my God, full understanding. It's like, whoa, because they're so switched on and they are so intellectual and so intelligent that suddenly, if they just let go of the barriers, they can see it. And so I see like a popcorn, like boom, and suddenly they're on the train. But once again, with a popcorn, try and squeeze that one into the shell that it had before. You cannot. It's like popcorn is out there. You cannot. But when the heat is enough, boom, it just goes like this. And so that's a bit where we are now.
I like that. The popcorn effect, that makes sense. I like that analogy. And we really are. I do think we really are in that static between stations. It makes a lot of sense, you know. I mean, and especially if you're a little older and you've actually tuned a radio with a dial. I mean, it's funny. Many people listening probably never have. Well, if you've never done it, next time you're at your grandparents' house, go find a radio and tune it. You know, and there really is static between stations. And one of the things about stepping into the 4D is you can still see all the 3D stations. They're not really a mystery to you, but the 3D cannot see into the 4D.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the real difficult situations because you still understand them. You're like, oh yeah, I certainly know what sports ball is, and I have some vague idea of what you're talking about, and that's great. And let's go to the sports bar this weekend and watch the game. Great, but they don't understand when but they don't really understand anything about you. You become this mystery. And I think it can be a little bit lonely because many people that you've known, whether they be family or just, or friends, acquaintances, they'll ghost you. They just disappear. They really don't want anything to do with you because like you become some sort of like it is weird. I wouldn't even call it a fear, but they're just done with you. It's like you are just weird. and that can be difficult because you text your friend, hey, what are you doing? And you don't hear back from them. It's because you have, stepped into 4D and they're in 3D and they just want to be done with you. Yeah.
You become an outcast.
Yes.
So it's it's not a little sad. It's super, super sad. I mean, people go through really rough times when this goes on. And I didn't really answer your question before. You said, have I seen other people going through the
Yes.
same? I tell you, anyone who's on the train is experiencing the
Oh, I
same
like
thing.
that. Yes.
So, but we have different experiences. I mean, I sit in the front, you sit in the back. I look out this window, you look out that. You're focusing on this. I'm focusing on an elk over there. But we're still on the same train. We're still moving forward the same
Mm.
direction. We still have the same end destination. We're going in the same, but we're also leaving behind us the train station, which just goes further and further away, the 3D. So what I would strongly suggest to avoid pain, I don't know if you like pain, go for it. I mean, try to persuade anyone in 3D. I mean, it's just like
Mm-mm.
chopping yourself in the finger. If you like it, go for it, but only pain will come out of it in both 3D and 4D. So what you can do is instead see, whoa, hang on here. Just like if you were on a train or if you were on a ship that is leaving harbor or whatever, just see you're separating. You can still love them. You can still bless them. You can still be with them and just like, oh my God, I wish you all the best at the train station, and just see we're moving away. I'm going to New Delhi. You are in London. We cannot at this time be on the same place, you know. So when you communicate with someone like that, I can just say you can try and hammer it into their head and just use a sledgehammer. Good luck with that. It's never, ever going to work. Or
Mm.
you can say, I understand. You don't have to say it to them and speak so that you speak down to them. That is not a good way. But
Mm-mm.
in your mind, see, wait a second here. I used to be there, so I know. And for me to say I'm awake, whatever that means, like, come on, we're still so asleep, most of us, myself included, in other areas. But I am now at a level where I'm more aware, so I can understand, because just like you said, I've been there, I've been in 3D, so I can completely identify with everything they're going through and saying and their life. I chose to leave it. They did not. I chose to leave it. And what is better, or what is I think people have a tendency when they become awake to
Mm-hmm.
look down on people and say, you don't get it, I know it all,
Mm.
you do not. And then that's the perfect battlefield for pain. So instead, just see, okay, I get it. Our souls, for whatever reason, have chosen different paths. You are right now, you've chosen, no, I don't want to travel. I don't want to get on the train. I'm happy here, you know. And if you look at it, some of these people are like Buddha-like people, you know. They don't need this whole dopamine stimuli all the time. I need to travel, I need to adventure, I need to experience, I need to yeah, you get another drug as well. Some of these people in 3D that you look down upon can be like farmer. Oh, he's never left the farm. Look at the individual. He's actually happy. How did he do that? How he's only seeing cows all the day. How is he always smiling? How is he always keeping his spirit high? Who's there to teach who? Do you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
many of us who are searching are miserable.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm out here searching for you. No, you're not. You have chosen this path. You are not doing it. Maybe if they asked you, but they normally haven't, they would say, please stay at home and be normal, instead of us going off in this bizarre, according to them, bizarre future where they don't get it at all.
Wow. That's an amazing way to look at it. It is an important and good thing to, for a moment, ask oneself, like, are they happy? Because like you're saying, they very well may be. I mean, it is really ultimately just a life path. You could say it's a linear time in incarnation. It's one timeline. It's however one looks at it. But yeah, I mean, it is hard to know the value or the meaning of one's incarnation or what they are doing with it at that time. And so it's ultimately multidimensional. There's many layers to it, and we really can't judge where another's evolutionary edge really is. Yeah. So it's true. Are they
You know,
happy?
yeah, because we are all striving for happiness. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
bank robber is robbing the bank to get the money to be happy. The police is chasing the bank robber to catch him to be happy. The you know eh, we're striving towards happiness. We just choose different ways. So the ones that achieve happiness, if that is a form of Buddha, or if it's in a form of Bobby the cowboy who's just milking cows all day, who knows? Who knows? I tell you, I used to
Mm.
work. One of my first jobs was at this metal factory, a horrible place. It was like loud, smoky, locked in. Oh God, it was awful. It was a perfect thing for me to get fire under my butt. So I moved out of there after a year. But anyway, in these circumstances, there was this guy, very soft spoken, quite quiet, always with a smile. And I asked him one time, we were just talking, and then I said, "Oh, so he was just, driving to and from work and eating his sandwich, but always with this like Mona Lisa smile. He was at peace. He was really, you could feel it." And anyway, so one day we were just asking. I asked him, "So how long you been working here?" He had been working there my whole life. Every single day I have spent on this earth, he had been there in the same factory. I mean, blow my mind. Who is teaching who? I would get absolutely frustrated with just different paths, but I tell you, that was a master to be able to keep that level of harmony in these circumstances. Like, whoa. Whoa. And here I am. No, I have to travel to other countries and explore things and get confused and frustrated and meet obstacle. He was just there,
Mm.
like a mantra. He was just like one ongoing mantra. I was just like blown up. I have no idea. Maybe he had some spiritual
Mm-hmm.
background before he started working at that factory, or maybe he was working there for a specific I have no, or maybe he was just there to give me this
Yes.
experience to help me on my way of like, maybe you should calm down a little bit, maybe you should focus
Mm-hmm.
on this balance instead of trying to create balance out there.
Yeah. Mm. He's like one of those unknown sages that wanders through our lives. Well,
I tell you, his
mm,
name was Edgar. If he's still around, Edgar, my God, you really affected my life.
wow. I like that. Um, so, one thing about the 4D and the 3D that I do think about as far as happiness and such like that is, so I'm sure people listening get what we're saying. Um, but something that I found recently, kind of in a download, as people talk about, we all get what downloads are. Something just comes to you, and that it's, I'll just call it divine. It's beyond imagination. You are connected, and you felt something. You were spoken to, you could say. And a download I had recently was because I'm kind of between stations on the radio dial too. A lot of people have been going through this recently. It does appear, everyone on the train, and so we're all searching for that new station, and that's the trick of it. We know we're searching. You get to the next station because you're searching. You're looking for it. What sounds better than what I was listening to. And so, but I had this download that one of my issues that I've been having, why I've been in that static between stations, is I had to flush evil. Like you're mentioning things bubble up. Well, honestly, I've gotten to the point of annoyance with old things bubbling up. Now I'm like, enough. Okay, gosh, I have to, get over this thing that happened when I was like 22. Oh man, it just keeps coming back. Why? What is it with this thing? Is there any making peace with this? Our slightest regret can bug us beyond belief. Um, but I had this realization of a flushing of evil, and what it is that I realized the last couple of weeks, they've been a beautiful, wonderful couple of weeks, but I've been in that static between stations, and one of the things I realized I had to do was, because of a greater light coming to me, because I think whenever you're between stations, it means I'll just say there's more light coming to you, and you have to integrate that, you know. Um, and so with that, I realized I need to get rid of any way that I was serving, that I was not serving the good, because many are serving evil to some extent. I'll just use evil in a little bit of a sloppy way. I'll just use it, um, I'll say evil. Like, one of the things I was doing is I was, working somewhere part-time that I believed was evil. I believe what the company does made the world a crappy place, and I'm like, well, what am I doing there? And it's almost like you could say God for us said, you just need to leave without any plan of your own accord. You need to leave because it is wrong. You know, you have to just basically walk out, you know. And or it said, look, your life's never going to work because you know better. How can you possibly, go between stations and make it to the next station if you are, if you have this anchor around your soul to this evil entity? You know what I mean? And so many of us are in one way or the other, and it's different for everybody. But I just realized I needed to do this kind of evil flush. I needed to get rid of aspects of my, incarnation where, in one way or the other, I was not in the greatest alignment with the good that I could be. And then once I let that go and had that realization, and this download starts to kind of complete, um, it is like, even though there's a bit of uncertainty, I am self-employed as well, so I have other income streams going, but I just had to, like, just do it. It was almost like, spirit or God, you can say, just goes, look, there's a plan for you. You do have a calling, and you're choosing not to do it because because there are aspects of your life where you're deliberately not serving the good, and you know it. Oh, and I was like, damn it, why does the truth piss you off before it sets you free? Anyway, so that's something. I think maybe that's one of the things about the 4D and the 3D, you might say, like incarnation, at least for me right now, is I just realized that I needed to let go of, I wasn't going to make it to that next station unless I cut those chains to things that I knew were not serving the good.
Can I just say I honor
Yes.
you? I honor you for doing that. It's one thing to think it, it's another one to do it, and to do it when it has consequences for you. But when your soul knows it, if you know, it's like, and if it's there in you, then it's up to you. I mean, you can just push it down and just keep pushing it down. And then after a while, you need alcohol and pills and to just push it down. And then you just start deteriorating. Downloads, inspiration, in spiritus, when body and mind aligns, spirit enters, and we get these boom. It's often when we are aligned inside, when we're not scattered. And that's when these comes to us. And just like Michael Jackson sang, Man in the Mirror, the change starts with you. And for instance, I've tried, or I have done my best to reach people and say, the change, don't wait for the change out there. You are the change. Like right now, Craig, with this job, I mean, I don't know, let's say that you were working for the defense industry or whatever. Defense up my butt. That's the inverted reality. The defense, the U.S. defense, is the slaughter, rape, plunder, killing machine. It cannot get any worse. So anyone working there, I don't care if you love the environment. I don't care if you got great friends there. I don't care if you're making a bundle. I don't care if this really stimulates your programming skills to make accurate target, but whatever.
Yes.
The end result is you are causing massive harm. Get out. Get out. There's no excuses. You can get these from me and also the future victims that your skill. Thank you so much. I have now been promoted and I got so much more pay. So I must have been doing the right thing. No, you've served the wrong Lord. You've served not good. And I think if these people that would be blown to smithereens and like without arms and limbs and heads would come to your bedroom at night, you would start seeing, holy, what on earth was I thinking? But now when there's a distance between it, when it's in foreign countries, well, they're dictators and they're like terrorist states. So we have to defend ourselves against them. Really, really, especially you in the US, thank you so much for terrorizing the rest of the world. I'm not into politics, but I mean, if you look at the number of army bases that your dear nation have gifted the rest of the world with, and I'm not talking about the soldiers either, because these people have signed up mostly from minorities and stuff like they have signed up for do good, to be able to feed their families, to defend freedom and democracy and all of these things. When you get out on the battlefield, it's absolutely the opposite. You have been duped into doing horrendous stuff in the name of democracy, freedom. Welcome to the inverted reality. It's absolute slaughter, lethal enforcement of somebody else's agenda, somebody else's greed in completely innocent countries, where the only thing that these countries have done is that they're the owner of minerals or gold or oil or poppy fields, or that they can do all kinds of pedophile trafficking, organ trafficking, human trafficking, all of these. That's the reason for wars, gas pipelines, you name it. Never, ever freedom and democracy. So you asked me, Craig, right now, here we are in the world. Apparently, there's wars everywhere. Okay, so Iran and Israel and this and that and boom and bang and boof. Or is there? I say, I have no idea. I have no idea, because I've been to war zones. So, I mean, I know wars to firsthand, but just because I'm being told on a screen in front of me, this is happening right now. I've been, like, I remember when there was this green revolution in Northern African countries, and we were being told, oh, now this is happening. There's all of demonstration, uprising, all of these things. It was the first time when the CIA really went for it through Facebook and especially Facebook. They were organizing all of these things. So on live radio, we called people in, I can't remember what town, city it was, where this happened. They said, in this area, there's, so on live radio, we called somebody there and we said, we checked out the address so that they were central in very close to where it happened. And we say, hello, Mr. Mohammed, this is this and this. I'm sorry to disturb you, but would you mind looking out the window and tell us what's going on? Yes, why? Just please tell us what's going on. And it's a Friday night. It's completely calm. Why are you asking? Because in media, it's this mayhem. There's all of this bombs and uprisings and fires going on like that. It later turned out that they got the flags wrong in a media presentation. It was the wrong flag. They did the same with Iran and India, the same flag, same color flags, but it was like there was this, oh, maybe I'm Mexico and India, I can't remember, whatever it was, but they got the flag wrong. So here we are, like there's an agenda going on to try and take over this world. That is for sure. They want to centralize everything. That is for sure. They want to make a new world order. That is for sure. They want to centralize everything into one, where everything can be controlled. That is for sure. And they do not want us, the benefit for us. They want the benefit for them. And they would like a lot of us to not be around.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, that's the truth. And so, but how are they doing it? A lot of it is through our mind. They don't have to do a lot of all of these atrocities. They don't have to fight real wars if they can get to us in the mind, through manipulation, through propaganda, through all of these things. And so when you look at what's being fed to us, being said, this is real. I mean, I want to go on location. This is what I did when I could still move around. Now I'm being threatened with prison and stuff like. If I go back to Sweden, I apparently face 18 years in prison just for speaking like I'm speaking. I've never said a word, a bad word. Yes, I said fuck, and I've said fuck them, bless them. That's I said, and I said, but things like that. What I have done, I've never said a racist word. I hate racism. I'm a racist against racism. I've never said. And still, I've been given a peace award. I've been adopted by the Apache Nation, and I've faced 18 years in prison in Sweden for doing the exact same thing. Wake me up. I don't get it. This is like so bizarre. Wouldn't you say? 18 years in prison, that's more than when you get sentenced for murder in Sweden. So I'm like, I don't kick dogs. I don't, I don't get it. What? But the truth is like when you're over target, that's when the flag comes. And so this is also why I've changed in my life. I've emigrated 3 times. And it's been because of these type of things, starting from scratch, absolute scratch. And I'm not complaining. I'm not a victim in this. I have chosen this. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying this adds to the questions you have to ask yourself. What the hell is going on? And also, why do I have to do all of these things when we have the police, when we have journalists, when we have mainstream media, when you have all of these things, when we don't have corruption, when we don't have, and where we have presidents we can trust, and where that's what we're being told. Why has somebody like this and a confused individual starting from absolute nowhere have to come to a position where I'm now? I could have spent my life in better ways, or maybe not.
Yes.
Maybe this was the reason I came here. I think it was, but it's sort of like, it's just so bizarre. Don't you think? It's strange.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that.
But can I just say, I think that the 18 years in prison, that's when in 3D reality, and the Peace Prize is in 4D reality. That's why it's so at the same time, but at like this. And so this is also where we have to adjust ourselves. It's like right now, there's quite a few countries I'm not going to because I don't like to be locked up.
Yes.
In mental institutions or prison. There's a lot of my friends and so on that have ended up 6 feet under, smelling the roses from underneath, or behind bars for doing the same thing. So I prefer not to go there. At this point, I'm in Bali. I'm very happy here. I feel super blessed to be grateful to be here. But sort of like at the same time, this is bizarre. This is really, really bizarre. And it's like they're trying to push 3D reality on us who are freeing ourselves. They're saying, no, you have to get back into the box. And with AI, they're trying to force us back into that box where we can be controlled with technology. Because the ones that are trying to control us have been in 4D reality all the time, or I don't know. But they know this whole thing, and they don't want us to get up there and to see what's going on, to pull the veil, just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. She just pulled it. She just said, whoa, what the hell? I thought you were big, powerful, massive muscles, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that I should be afraid of you. And there's you, this little tiny old man with no spine and a personality of yellow. I mean, what's going on? That's the real power. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. So when we look at what's going on right now in this illusion of conflict and war and all of it, I would say that's why I've taken a step back, because
Yes.
right now, just focus, keep the balance. Don't get attached. Don't get emotionally involved. At the same time, if somebody kicks a dog out in the street, I will I will get in between. Or somebody in where I see
Yes.
out the window, this, in whatever, are we in a matrix, or I don't know what reality is, but in this, my space here, I will do my utmost to go into a room and leave it a little better than when I entered. Every single step, every meeting, I will try to do my thing to lift. Sometimes I fail, especially when old crap comes up. And afterwards, lately I apologized two times, three times, with just like these bubbles of
Yes.
old anger. What the hell was
Yes.
that? I didn't think I had it. No, boo. I was the one. Okay, my responsibility, my bad. I take full responsibility and deal with it. I need to somehow get these burps out, not aim them at individuals. So anyway, I'm ranting on.
No, it's perfect. It makes sense, because I think that a lot of people are in the same place. I think it's a great statement to take a step back and see what happens, without being attached, because I think that overwhelm is very easy right now. It could be said, the conflicts are real, partially real, fake. Isn't there is a lot of negative thought, a lot of negative energy, and I see it affecting people, especially I'm going to say 4D people, really negatively, and I see it affecting 3D people really negatively. Um, I recently was aware of someone actually committed suicide, and like I actually saw this. It wasn't someone I knew very well, but saw the suicide note. It was, and they just said, I don't want to be here anymore. I hope there's no afterlife. I just want it to disappear. And I thought, see, that's the thing where there's many people that are suffering because of this extremely negative moment, this intense moment, and like those numbers will never really be accounted for. They'll never even be a statistic. But like I see the intense suffering of individuals right now, especially those that are sensitive. And so what you're saying is very helpful, because even individuals just realizing that this is kind of common right now. We're all between stations, but if you kind of can just hang in there, work on those big bubbles, work on not becoming too attached. I mean, the world really wants our attention right now in every possible way. It's saying, give me your attention. Look at this. This just blew up. Don't you want to see this? Don't you want to see that? But it reminds me of something I was thinking recently, is where um, the whole idea of, how do you make the world a better place? How do you help? That can be a bit of a trap in itself to ponder. But I kind of came to a realization that knowledge is power, truth is power, I am, like right here, is power. And I do think that something I've come to realize is that's my thing to do at the moment. We oftentimes want to do something which is very 3D, but really just your knowledge being power, truth, your ability to discern truth, to experience truth, and then that I am presence within you, that a knowledge of God, of soul, and to spend time there. I think that we underestimate what an antenna that is, a radio station that becomes broadcasted. And I'm just kind of realizing that that's about what I can do right now, but I shouldn't underestimate that, you know?
it's like, where does these downloads come from?
Yes.
Where does inspiration comes from? Where does intuition come from? We're saying from above. Okay, could you please describe that in greater detail, or explain to me from above, what does that mean? That's what I'm saying. There's something going on that I have no clue about, that is so much bigger than me. That is, I mean, I don't even understand the daily life of a butterfly or the emotional life of a cow. I have no idea. I don't understand. When does a plant die? Is there a moment of death when it suddenly is no longer? I mean, what do I know? Not a lot. On when it comes to magic of life that I can't explain. Well, it's alive, it's dead. What? What? My body, it just healed itself. Look at that. I mean, I had a cut, it's healed itself. Holy, I mean, what? That is unbelievable. How did that? I don't understand how my kidney is working. I'm not even aware of it. But I'm so intelligent that I know about this tiny little thing that is in front of my eyes, ears, and senses. These are the things, and I think this is life. Really, is it? So I think it's great. I live on an island full of volcanoes, earthquakes. Okay, this is the island of the gods, they say. It's an amazing place. It really is the kindest people I have ever met. We live under constant danger, or not. I look at the volcanoes. Yeah, they erupt at times. Now we have in Florida, there's another island not so far from here, massive big eruption. So I can live in constant fear and let that control me. No, we cannot live so close to the volcano. No, we cannot. What if? The first time there were earthquakes here, I was like, holy, what that? I mean, like, whoa. Then you look at the locals. I mean, they're sitting there and then they're drinking their coffee. And then there was another after whatever. They don't react at all. And then sometimes it's really bad and they die. But until then, they will just drink their coffee and maybe die. But most of the time they don't. And so, do you see, it's like, I saw that you took from my email, too blessed to be stressed.
Yes.
So I don't know who said that or who sent it to me. I just felt, oh, I like that. I like that one, because it's sort of like, I am so blessed. I mean, unbelievably blessed. Well, it's easy for you to say, who lives in Bali. How did I get here? What I'm saying, but it's not that. I'm so blessed to have 10 fingers, 2 eyes, or 1 eye. I'm so blessed to have friends. I can taste things. I can feel, I can move. I have a scooter. I can go places. If you look at the things that in my life I can be grateful for, holy, it never ends. It never ends if I focus on that. Or I can focus on the 1% that I'm annoyed with. I mean, there is this movie called Hurricane with Denzel Washington about a boxer. It's a true story. A black boxer who was he was a champion, and the local police, wherever he was in the US, had a problem with. There was this police officer who had really wanted to get his butt, and so there was a triple murder. There was a robbery that went wrong, and so the local cops went out and grabbed this guy, and he was sentenced for a triple murder that he did not commit. His name Reuben Hurricane Carter. Okay, so he was 30 years in prison. I mean, a lot of people reacted. Bob Dylan made a song, a Hurricane, all of these things. And then after some months, everybody forgot about him, and he was just left to rot in there. Anyway, so it took, after 30 years, there's this movie called Hurricane, really, really beautiful, about the transition from hate to love, and where a young teenager started sending letters to him, and they started communicating. And in the end, that through that young teenage, they managed to get him out against all odds. Anyway, so he was on Oprah, the real
Mm.
boxer. When you look in his eyes, whoa, that is power. That is power and beauty. And because he's transitioned, he spent the time in there really exploring hate and darkness and violence and that, and then coming out on the other side, the other spectrum, when you transform or purify through fire. They call it tapas in Raj Yoga. You burn these tapas and purify yourself just like gold. Look in his eyes. Whoa. Anyway, but I remember him, Oprah was asking, so what does a normal day look like now? And he said, I have a beautiful woman I can call my wife. And when I wake up, I look over, she's lying next to me. I just think, and he looks around and he said, 99% of all problems solved.
Wow.
Not alone, free, absolute, like this. 99% of all problems solved. And here we are. If you ask anyone who has everything, I've got 99% problems and 1% joy. We need to shift the mind, come on. This, where do you put your focus? And that's also why now, boom, bang, both. There's war here. There's all of these things here. Where's the focus? Where's my focus? I focus here or I focus there. I focus on the screen because the dark stuff nowadays comes through screens, these dark, smart screens. Smart, that's a misspelling, by the way. It's EVIL is the correct technical term for these screens that are saying life is hell. You should be scared. You should just bow down and accept all type of slavery and torture, whatever. Thank us for it. Thank us for it. You can choose that. And the dopamine just goes, oh my God, I need more, I need more, I need, just like some of us love horror movies. It's the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
I need another kick. I need another kick. Freak me out, scare me a little bit more. Ooh, I love it, like that. Or I don't like horror. I've been enough afraid in my life. It's like, this is not a feeling I like. Or or like that. So if
you're breaking up
look
a little
out the
bit.
window.
Now you're back. Yeah.
Okay, so what I think, I forgot.
You were just saying about, so it's not, you broke up there for a sec, but now you're back. You're just saying, 99% of all problems solved, Yeah,
and so many of us focus on one. It's like, whoever I asked, so how was it? They went there. Yeah, it was great. It was great. The only thing that I got really upset with was, like, why you even mention it? Why even mention the 1%? If all of that was good, but there one day the food was a little salty. So bloody what? I mean, who cares? I mean, why even bring it up? But this is I include myself. Why bring that up? And this, I have had a ongoing discussion with my sweetheart for all of these years. We've been together nonstop, 24/7 for 27 years. Imagine the patience she has. But because I have been focused in this world trying to decipher or solve these mysteries and also lift the veil of dark stuff, but with the intent of healing, of lifting and transforming, which has been my way, really trying to come from the heart into these very dark areas. I think people say I'm unique in this area. I think the uniqueness is because I come from the heart, not from vengeance or revenge or violent thoughts or like that. I hope at least that is the way. But she's really it's been a big problem for her that I've been so focused on things that are, according to her, dark.
Mm-hmm.
Because also maybe I'm part of creating it as well. What you focus on and you add feelings. So what is the key to our reality? I don't know. But I've never seen these things as dark. People say, how can you spend so much time? It must be so depressing. And so for me, it's never been. It's been like mysteries, riddles to solve. And then with the outcome of possibly stopping individuals from getting harmed, or lifting it. So it's just very different approaches. But yeah, it's important where we put our focus, I think.
Oh, it is absolutely. Yeah, and that's definitely, quite the challenge to, look into the darkness and not be affected by it. Because of course we are going to be affected by it, but well, it's definitely a challenge that you've taken on, and taking a break makes sense to me, to see where it leads next, because I keep having this feeling of something next is upon us, because I look at I just call it like earth plane, is that it's very cyclical, and I do wonder if we are going through a cycle of some kind where just human mentality, human thought is has to go through some kind of a reboot, because I think we oftentimes look at leaders and we say, oh, here's one, and this just seems to be something that's upon us, is where we hear a lot of things saying like, well, if this country does that, they'll lose their status in the world. People won't trust them. They'll lose, they'll win, who serves who, etc. And I kind of feel like, well, we can keep looking up like that and saying, what they're doing, what leadership is doing. But I think, unfortunately, a realization I've had is that for the most part, leaders represent the cumulative thought energy of their people. I'm not sure that leaders are that far off the people. It's like the leader represents the culmination of the average of the people. So, a country that's bombing another country might have enlightened people living in it, but unfortunately the average is that's really where they're at. I just feel that leaders just simply represent the I lost the word right now, but the summation of the energy of their people. And it just seems like we're at the end of a cycle, or cycles are changing, and ultimately it comes down to we have to go through a cycle of change, because the way people think, for the most part, their energy, their focus, um, it's going through a reboot of some kind, because people won't really change their mind deliberately, but it seems like we're going through a mind changing, like we're being forced to change our mind and our focus, where right now it's 99% problems, 1% bliss. The governments and the leaders are the ones that are making these decisions, when really it's in us. That's what's really causing all the violence. And I think that if we go through, I believe this cycle is happening where people are going to start pulling it in. And then when they feel beautiful, and then they feel God, they feel that connection, I am presence, they're going to start to, that's when that's when all the people that we blame for all the bad things that are happening, they fall away. Anyway, that's just a feeling that I have, that I think might be something that we're on the precipice of.
I'm very much on the same wavelength, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I feel it's this transition of frequency. I mean, they say the frequency is going up, up, up. A lot of us are feeling it and getting a bit dizzy sometimes, and
Dizzy.
like,
Yes.
whoa, what's going on, and like that. That they say that this is the frequency going like that, and in that transition, one of the things I think is you cannot bring your luggage.
Mm.
You have to let go of old crap. Just sorry, it used to work for you. It's no work. And like if you used to dress like a goth or whatever like that, it's not really helping you right now. Let it go. Empty the closets. Get all of the crap out there. Leave the suitcase. You cannot bring it with you. So there's
Mm.
this racing. This is also why these burps of old stuff comes up for us to leave it. Everything that is not healed will be squeezed out of us at this point. I think it's like I'm not going to look at it. Well, there's not really a choice. It's in your face. But the whole shift is to take your power back. And when I say that, I don't mean go hit somebody in the head that is telling you stuff. Now I've taken the power back. No, the power to take back is I'm just not listening to you. You say do that, and you back it up with force to intimidate me. Well, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for that kind offer of doing absolute madness. I'm just not doing it. Like you, Craig, which I get goosebumps, really honor with your job there, where you felt for your benefit would have the best thing would have been to continue. Don't listen to the voice. Get the money. Don't worry. Don't look the other way. That would have been the way. You chose not to. I applaud that. That's the way. That is the change. To follow the voice is there. There is an inner voice telling you, not right. This is not
Mm-hmm.
right. That's the voice you should listen to. These leaders, I mean, look at the state of the world. I've been a one-man band my whole life. It would have been so much easier for me to be part of an organization or group. I just felt early on, holy Moses, alpha egos taking over. The loudest is the leader, the most corrupt. I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense. So I don't listen to leaders at all. I don't listen to politicians at all. I look at laws and I break the law once that makes no sense whatsoever. I follow the laws of the heart. If the heart
Mm-hmm.
says this is the right thing to do, yeah, but it's shit scary. Sorry, it's still the right thing to do. It's your
Mm-hmm.
choice. You know it. I know it. I know, and that's sometimes I'm just too much of a coward to do it, but I still know what the right thing is to do. And then if I do it, I feel afterwards, yeah, there's this power. I got the power back. That's the power I'm talking about. When you follow your inner voice, when you follow your compassion, when you forgive, this is one of the hardest one, to forgive, and let go, and also stop judging others. I mean, God, I'm preaching to myself. To to let go of judgment and just see it also for this divine play that it is on a higher level, where we need villains, we need horrible individuals, we need psychopaths apparently to evolve, because otherwise we're just too lazy. I don't know, I don't care, which the global population has not cared for a long time to a major extent. And that's why we got these psychos into these power positions where they're messing with us. Now it's time to take the power back. But the thing is, it needs courage. It's like a bully in a schoolyard. It is freaking awful, terrifying to stand up against them. But they will terrorize the schoolyard until somebody does it. And that individual can be a small individual, but with the right energy. If they just stand up and say, I'm not taking this crap anymore. And if they look at Gandhi, they were beating him. They
Mm-hmm.
would he just came back. Did he have any muscles? Absolutely not. He was like 5'4". He had no army, no title, no money, nothing. What did he accomplish with nonviolence? Oh my God. Oh my God. That is the way. That is the way. How did he do it? And he felt like a failure at the end of his life.
Wow.
Come on, bless Mahatma. I even had the absolute pleasure recently to be both in South Africa and India, exactly on location where he used to walk. It's
Wow.
like, I know it's ridiculous maybe, but
Mm-mm.
for me was really amazing to just step in the same footprints on this beautiful earth as an individual like that. Such a soul that was just like so inspirational to me.
Mm. Wow. Yeah.
It
I no,
sho-
I get it. I get it. Mm.
he managed to get one of the great British Empire to bugger off out of India without violence up against one of the biggest, most powerful armies of the world. He said, "Thank you so much. It's time for you to leave now." How did he do it? How was it possible? It showed that there is a way, and we're now here where there's a new possibility to do the exact same thing here. We can create chaos and horrible future for ourselves, up to us, or we can transcend this whole thing by not using violence, but use our real power. But that's the thing. Take it back. Don't listen. Don't wait for the solution out there. Don't wait for leaders that are creating the problems. Don't wait for NATO that are creating the problems that NATO is there to solve. They are creating all of this mayhem for themselves to solve, so they are the saviors instead of, so we don't see that, oh my God, they're the ones fucking with us. So take the power back, and this magic word, no. Well, if you don't do that, I'm gonna what? Bring it on. Well, I am gonna fine you. Okay, bring it on. I will take you to court. Bring it on. I will beat you. Bring it on. I don't like pain, but bring it on. I will kill you. Well, apparently I will come back, sorry about that, but reincarnation seemed to be real to a lot of people in Asia, millions and millions and millions. So kill me, but whatever. I'll be back. I love it here in Bali, reincarnation, it's just so real. So when
Hmm.
you cannot buy land here, but you can lease land. And the way they see it is like, okay, maybe he's in his 60s or something like that, the landowner. He leases it out for another 60 years. You would think, well, you will be dead by a long time before you get the land back. No, he will be reborn, so he'll just get it back. So he's like fine with it. I die
Oh, it's
and I'll be
amazing.
back, and the land is still here. Great, thank you so much. Yeah, sign the paper.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah, well, that is a great reality to live with. And then, well, but that's the thing with the Dalai Lama. I mean, there's some, I guess, what do they call it? Well, monks. I know that there's a specific word for them, but when the Dalai Lama dies, well, reincarnates, they go looking for him, and they
Yeah.
have they have this. It's really a scientific process they go through to find him. It's not by
Yeah.
chance. It's very rigorous, but they go, well, we got to go find him. He's back
Yeah.
now.
He's back now. Do you know we have a friend here, a Balinese friend, whose brother died very young, and his brother was very, very. He took a lot of care of his car. It was very precious to him. Cars are expensive here, and so when the brother died, Adi, our friend, promised to take care of the car. He is polishing that car, just waiting for his brother to appear again. And he's been told that there's going to be a small little scar on his the little finger of the boy when he's being reborn. One of the priests here told him. So he can't wait for his next child to be born. The first thing he's going to check is for the scar on the little finger, and then the car will be there, polished and ready when he become 18.
That's amazing. And when we think of wealth, I think about that being a part of your culture, your life, people just knowing it. I think, wow, now there's wealth because, like where we're at here, the Sonoran Desert, you've got Phoenix, but then you have Scottsdale. It's kind of the pretty part of Phoenix. Definitely a materialistic place. Definitely wealth is seen as having you name it. But I just think, wow, superficial wealth versus that just being the foundation of your life and your people. I mean, that's wealth. I love it. I love it. You know.
Do you know Mother Teresa came to Phoenix once, and there was this radio host who invited her, and he was like blown away by her kindness and all of these things. And he said, "Please, Mother Teresa, show me a way where I can support you, where I can help you in what you're doing." And she said, very simple. You go out in Phoenix in the middle of the night, you see somebody homeless or whatever, and you make that person feel not lonely anymore.
Mm. Yeah. That's the tough one. I mean, I shouldn't say it's the tough one, but I get it. That really.
It's so easy to see, well, if we save Pakistan or if we do that, but what about that guy? What about, yeah, but he's dirty. Oh, but he's like, oh, no, maybe he's good. It's in our surroundings. There's so many possibilities to lift around us, like to do random acts of kindness, anonymous acts of kindness. I love when you do something without expecting anything in return. That's the key for magic. Like you see somebody in a coffee shop, when they're like, you can see, whoa, this individual not feeling good, and then maybe just pay for that. Don't say, I pay for your coffee. Just pay, say, for this lady there or whatever. Don't mention anything, just for the, or pay, you go down the toll road, pay for the car that comes after you, or anything. Random acts of kindness, random like drive-by huggings, these type of, to so many times. I think that when we get these notions from where, I think often there's a reason for it. And this can often be in a situation where that person was just on the edge of doing maybe something stupid or feeling, and that gives them this ray of hope. There's this guy on YouTube called Peter Bond. I think what he's doing is absolutely incredible. What he does is he travels around with his friend in the US with a camera on him, and he comes up with these stories. He finds homeless people that I mean in misery. Many of these people it's not their fault that the society has just been torn apart, and so they're put in these difficult situations living out in the street. And so he comes up with stories like, listen, I'm really sorry to bother you, but my friend and I, we're stuck here. We just need $1 or so to get on the bus so we can get out, but they're asking homeless people that are begging. And so many times these people in a difficult situation give their very last dollar to them. And when they do that, when they show their true self in a situation like, imagine giving the very last thing you have when you don't even know where the next meal is going to come from. That shows you something about that character. Then he says, listen, I don't need your money. Please take it back. And they get really confused. Like, why are you playing games with me? And he said, no, for you, because you showed us kindness the way you did, we want to give you $500. And he has like a community where they collect money to these things. And so he gives them $500. And so many times that gift of seeing, because many people in that situation say, nobody talks to us, nobody sees us, we're just there, we're just like garbage, we're just like, something to avoid. That gives them this ray of hope and this feeling of worth and worthiness, and they change their lives. And so sometimes he go back, he finds them again, and they just completely change their lives. They because somebody saw them, somebody showed them love and showed that they had value and worth, and they just boom, and it's beautiful to watch. I know there are other YouTubers that do it to get views or whatever. This guy, Peter Bond, I feel he's really pure. It's beautiful to watch things like that.
Wow.
So random acts of kindness can be so important. I just wanted to tell you another thing as well. There was this neighborhood, I think it was in the west of US somewhere. It was a rough area. It was during, I think it was in LA actually, when these gang wars were going on, and there was this area that was really run down, and there were like needles and condoms and things everywhere, like where people used to inject themselves. Somebody put a Buddhist temple, a Buddha statue, right there in the middle. I don't know who did it. Nobody in the area apparently knew who put it there. Put it there, put some flowers on it. Then somebody put some more flowers on it. Then more people saw it and put flowers on it, and started cleaning up. And within a year, the whole area had just cleansed itself. And suddenly it was like plants were starting to grow, flowers were starting to grow, and all of it spread from that statue of Buddha. I mean, do you see? It's like, that's really interesting, because it's sort of like, it's not that you are not allowed to inject here, like a big sign like that. You will be fined like this if you do that. Not at all. It's the other way around, to boost that power. And another one, Craig, if I can rant on a little bit.
Keep going.
Okay, so the power of a cookie. I think that was in LA as well. There was a lot of brutality going on, or Chicago, I can't remember where it was. But anyway, there was a lot of violence and gang wars and the police brutality, and it was a mess. It was a real mess. And so there was this handful of grandmothers that were very concerned. And so they met up and said, what are we going to do? How can we make a difference? How can we make this stop? And so they decided to bake cookies. So they made the best cookies they could. And what they did was, they went to the worst, most hardened police officers, the most brutal police officers, and they gave them cookies. The cookies made the police officers sit down and talk, and after a while, more cookies, and they started talking more, and they slowly got into, because these were harmless old ladies, so they could just speak freely, and they more and more started opening up that they were terrified. The reason that they were brutal was often that they were terrified. They went to work every day to a war zone where they could be killed at any time. And so it ended up with them being very violent and very hateful and very like this. Okay, so cookies over there. Then they went to the gangs, and they met up with the gang leaders with cookies, milk and cookies. And these hardened gang members, with tattoos everywhere and bullet wounds or whatever, sat down, because everybody loves cookies. And so they started to communicate with the gang leaders and the gang members with milk and cookies. And because they were harmless old ladies, they were okay to talk to. So they started talking. And there was a very similar thing there, that they were so pushed down and they were terrified of the violence, and they were trying to survive, and they were selling drugs to survive and all these things. And then in the end, they had cookie meetings with the police and the gang members, sharing cookies and milk. Do you see the power of cookies? It's like, how can you can make regulations, you can enforce it, bring in the army, bring in the special forces, or make cookies. That's coming from the heart instead of this control. You can't stop violence with violence. You can't control anger when it creates more anger. You have to go to the root. What's going on? Why are you so angry? Why are you so sad? Very often anger is on top of sadness, deep sadness. So it's not the anger you should look at. It's like, where's the root of these tears? What is it?
Mm,
And then heal that, the anger goes away, and suddenly you got harmony.
mm,
So what I want to say with that is, just because you think I am nobody, I don't know to do anything, I don't, that is so not true. That is, whoever is out there, follow your passion. That whatever gives you goosebumps, that is the roadmap of your life. Just like Craig, he knew when he was working in this place, this is so off track from giving me goosebumps. I am off track. I need to get back on track. Follow my passion, follow the inner voice. And that, whatever that is, if it's cleaning windows or making the best coffee or a car, whatever it is, you can use that somehow to boost whatever you stand for. It's like people have said when I've been on tour. I mean, I've been like a one-man band on tour, freaky scary in areas where I was so not welcomed by the dark forces and so welcomed by normal people. Yeah, but how can I support you? I don't have any money. What do you do? I'm a car mechanic. Okay, great. Can you please, our RV that we're driving in is not good. Can you just maybe tighten a little here and there? It's such a wonderful thing that makes it possible to move to the next place so that this information, hopefully of value, can be delivered thanks to indirectly that the vehicle was running. Do you see?
yeah.
It's like, oh, what can you do? I can chop salad. Great. Let's see, where can chopping salad be of use? Where can that be of use? And then just do good, be good, and lift it, lift it, lift it. Focus on the 99% of gratitude instead of the 1% that is a problem.
Mm, yeah. And do what you do with love.
I think that emotions are like a GPS system. Do you know, in the old days in fishing boats before GPS and all that, you had when you had like that, but if you got too far to the left, there was a signal, boop boop. If you got to the right, burp burp, like that. I think when you are in spiritus, we talked about that before. When you are being inspired, that shows you are on track. When you are inspired, when you feel the power inside of you that yes, this is right. Just like when you left left your job, I'm sure that you felt, shit, did I do right now? This stupid. I should have no. Your inner's just like, and you feel,
Mm,
yes, it was the right thing. Good on me. I did it. High five on myself. Boom. I did good. It feels good like that. That's the feeling. Anything, depression, sadness, anger, shows you're off track. You're getting
yes.
off track. Boom, boom. Use it like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where was I? Where did I go wrong? You took a left down there. Okay, let me back. It was when this happened that I got into, okay, I'm back on track. Followed. Whoa, whoa. So these so-called negative feelings, I think indirectly are a
Mm,
blessing. They just show us, nope, you're getting off track. Sorry. Boop, 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 boop. And off you go. Wherever that road takes you, the fastest road to your happiness, I tell you, it's going to be like this. It's not a straight line. It will be
no.
like this.
Yeah. But you feel good when you're on it, and that's the thing. And I think the unhappiness or the anxiety, ultimately also in the world state at the moment, which, a little crazy, where people I do see fall into depression, hopelessness. It's ultimately uh, when you're too far off too long, it just gets worse. So if you are not feeling good, then just get back on course. And really, it is the loving acts, it is the kindness. It's if you get up early in the morning and you make coffee for everybody, do that as an act of love. you
Mm.
know if you like you mentioned a mechanic. Well, I have done in the past. I can still do, be an auto mechanic. And so it's very rewarding to help people out. Oh, I can fix that for you. Here you go. you know. So whatever it might be, even this show, like you coming and talking to people, like we're making this possible, I get to be a part of it. That today is like an act for both of us, of that
Mm.
kindness. It's like, I think that if you can find a way to be kind that day, and you can just realize, where am I off course? I know it. If I stop bullshitting myself, I know, okay, let me start moving back on course and be
Mm.
kind in some way. That is the incredibly annoying, simplistic answer. Because people say, oh man, if I could just do yoga for 13 hours or stand on my head or walk across flames, I would do it. And it's like, unfortunately, you don't get off that easy.
But also, what does it lead to? I mean, be
Yes.
able to stand on your head if you're still not, if you're an anger,
Upside down and miserable.
individual full of anger, it's like that has not led anywhere.
Yes.
But it's the big trap is here. If you can do it without expecting anything, no
Yes.
strings attached. If you have strings attached, it's better you don't do it. So do it, give it, and let it go. Don't expect to do it and because it will benefit you. Then it will benefit you, but not if you manipulate. If you manipulate it, so it's these. Yeah. So there's so many opportunities all the time.
And we can always pray for that, as in we can always ask for that guidance, like I think it's one of the things I made a note of is how to get out of the rut when people do feel like they're in a rut. I guess it's what makes me happy, where are those goosebumps, and sometimes we think too grand. Just maybe that day it's meditate. Maybe that day it's clean the kitchen, whatever. There's something. Don't think too grand. There's something, and then find ways to just be kind. Have you called your parents in a while? Is there somebody that you know that you could go help? There's always something. Even just honestly going to a public place, getting present, and just being kind, just being in that power, that presence, and just walking through an area where there's people and just being a point of blessing. It's getting out of a rut. It's easier than we think, but a lot of people really are stuck right now.
You know a dice.
Yes.
The next time you take your car, you bring a dice. Just go out on a Sunday, bring a dice, and then when you come to an intersection, you roll dice. If it's under 3, 1, 2, 3, it's left. If it's 4, 5, 6, it's right. And then let's see where it takes you. You will go on out of the rut. You will meet and see places you would never ever. Because the thing is, we have this tendency to always go the same way.
Yes.
I here in Bali, I deliberately get lost all the time. I like, I have no idea where I am now, but look at that, look at that, look at that. This is a way of, and the dice, I think it's great, and you can do it with your partner, and you go out and you have an adventure instead of like a boring Sunday. You suddenly like, holy shit, we're not in Arizona anymore. We're suddenly down in Mexico. What happened? Like just a simple thing like that to break out of the pattern. And the thing is, don't wait for anyone else to change. The only one that you can change is you. The only one I can change is me. Ask my sweetheart. She's tried to change me for 27 years, still a failure. I am the only one that can make these changes on me. So don't wait for it out there. This is the change. And I want to go back to depression and sadness.
Yes.
And where is that? Where most of it is based on fear, some kind of fear, I would say, that has locked us in and stuff. So where is fear? Is it hiding under the sofa? Is it out in the kitchen? Can you go down to 7-Eleven and get 2 pounds of fear? Is it brown? Is it square? Where is it? It's in your head. It's in my head. So in one way, that is excellent news, because then it's not out there. It's actually in here where I can actually do something about it. No, I'm a prisoner of my fear. Are you really? Are you really? So what does that fear look like? Is it something concrete that you can touch? No. Is it something you know is true? No. What is it? It's only in the mind, and it's always connected to something that has not yet happened. It is something you're speculating. What if I were, oh my God, if he's got a gun, he might, what? Yeah, but if I walk down that, then what? Yeah, but it's just pure speculation. Fear that is controlling so much of many of our lives. It's absolute nonsense. It is good when you cross the street, look right, look left, or whatever. Do not put your hand on the stove. That's another good one. Otherwise than that, fear can just like that. Because what good does it do? It keeps us apart. It keeps us separated. And that's why we're being pumped with this whole thing, where we feel that we're lonely, alone and powerless and have no say. And we just like bend over, pull down our pants and say, do whatever you want as long as I'm protected. Absolutely the wrong way, I would say, to go. But that's the New World Order in a nutshell. Through fear. Why is media pumping you with fear? It's to be able to control you. Why are there no good news? Is that just by coincidence? No, it's there by design to keep you down. Down, dog, down, where we can control you. A boot on your head, halfway down the mud, that's where they want you. So the way out, I would strongly say, is gratitude. When you feel gratitude, not just think it, but when you feel, if you focus instead of saying, oh, it's so horrible, oh, it's so horrible, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. If you start feeling gratitude and let go of the victimhood. I made t-shirts where I quote myself, stop whining, start shining.
Yeah.
Stop whining, start shining. Become your best boom of whatever that is. And just get out of this victim mode, mental crap that you are locked into. Stop seeing yourself as a victim. Like I said before, I've been shot. I've been almost hit by cars. They have tried to drug me, poison me, whatever. If you catch me whining, please ask me to stop. If you catch me being a victim, please ask me to stop, because indirectly that has free choice. I put myself in this situation, but also the pain that was inflicted makes me feel compassionate about people that have been targeted, that have been beaten up, that have been bullied, that have been threatened. I've got many of my traumas are super soft if you compare to other people, like in war zones that have really been messed up with. I mean, I'm messed up, but in sort of
Yeah, I understand.
a fluffy version, even though they've been very traumatic for me.
Yes.
So if you can stop seeing, I used to be a super victim. I was the best of the best when it came to victimhood. But if you lose power, it's like driving around with a flat tire. People get fed up with listening to you, and then you end up alone because you're too whiny. Oh God, stop. I can't take it anymore. People don't say it, but they start avoiding you.
Yeah.
So when you turn it around, say, okay, I only have one leg that got shot up, whatever. Instead of that, what can I do with the other? Or what can I do with a leg and a half? Maybe there's turn it around, whatever the situation is. It's only here. It's always here. This is where the real war should be fought. And so when you're depressed, I'm not saying this is an easy thing or whatever it is, but it is in here. It's not out there. Yeah, but he did that to me. Yeah, but I was raped. Yes, that is true. But I mean, some people are still in this thing, myself included, in the grip of some traumas. The individuals that inflicted it are dead. They're dead. I'm still in prison. That individual that can fuck off and blessed are still are dead, but I'm still in prison. Who's holding me there? I am.
Yes.
I am, because I'm giving these thoughts power. Just let them. Thoughts are not real. They're just. We have this generator up here that is just. Its job is to generate about 60,000 thoughts per day or whatever. Map, 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 map. That's its job. It's doing a great job. Some people have more than 60,000, and I think they come like this as well. It's like chaotic traffic. You're the one that can start organizing and stop giving them power. They're not real. You're the ones. Feel like you're standing in front of a highway and all of these cars are passing. It's up to you to just let some pass and say, I really want to focus on that blue one over there. Whoop, because that can be beneficial. The other one can just pass, just thoughts, just in Raj Yoga, they call them vrittis. Just let them pass, just because they're in your head doesn't make them real. And then start, cleaning up, purifying your mind. It's like, if you don't know what else to do, purify your mind. Boom.
Yes.
And that's the way forward. And then the purer this becomes, the cleaner it becomes around you, just like with this Buddha statue. And then you start attracting different types of experiences. The more you heal yourself, the more healed things you will start attracting. Suddenly, the more kind you are, and you stop being a victim and do kind acts just because you want kindness back, but where you truly are, then suddenly, miraculously, these people that used to bully you or whatever, they're not attracted to you anymore because you're not a victim. So they will leave. It's no fun anymore. They will just leave.
Mm-hmm.
And the world would change around you. And then that will change around. When people see the change that are in you, they see, whoa, that's kind of inspirational. Maybe I should try something similar myself. So people have said, I should really be some kind of leader. I say, absolutely not. I mean, if you ask me to lead a group of people to a pizzeria and can we just, agree on one type, I would be the worst person ever. But I hope that by example, that I can, maybe, if this feels right to whoever is listening, that maybe that can inspire them to become their own leader or their own creator of whatever life they want to create. If you want to create chaos, go for it. But most people, as far as I know, want peace and harmony. They don't want wars and conflicts. And even though it's fun for some people to really stir it up after a while, I don't know. I don't really get that whole thing, or inflict pain or domination or control. I don't get that game.
Mm-hmm.
But most people, I feel, they just want peace and harmony and friendship and love and abundance for everyone. And the more of us that come in on that wavelength, the better it gets.
It absolutely does. And it makes me think about, the importance of imagination, because the thing is, and also, visualization and having the make-believe world that you want to create, that you will. Because if we do have 60,000 thoughts a day, I mean, if they're random and sporadic, well, then, anything can happen. It's kind of like uncontrolled dreams when you're sleeping. When we have nightmares, we have a string of crazy dreams just because the mind was just manifesting crazy dreams. Well, I think that unfortunately, a lot of people's lives are like that. I know it's something that I have done much better with. What do you want? What do you go, like, a great thing, it comes from Neville Goddard. At night when you're going to sleep, be in the end, think from the end, be in the wish fulfilled of the life you want to live, of what you find beautiful, of what you find to be great accomplishment. If you go to sleep in that energy, the day that you awaken to will actually be heading in that direction, if it doesn't just outright happen. And I think that as adults, and sometimes far too soon as children, we lose imagination, and we lose that sense of play, to actually imagine and play and make believe. And through like the deliberate focus of the mind, I think, which does take some meditation, be present, be in the I am, and also think from the end, and it doesn't have to be so, if people can't think of anything that makes them happy, just think of something small, like tomorrow my car runs really well, whatever. You'll stack more on that in time. But really, imagination, play, then we find the magic, and I think like imagination, play, and magic are something that maybe living in such a digital world rather than an analog world. I'm very thankful to when I was younger, everything was analog. We had rotary phones, we had vacuum tubes, we had, we went out and played, we made forts, we threw dirt clouds at each other. Like there was no internet, but there was magazines. You couldn't wait to you could like see what's new, what's going on. I mean, I'm thankful to have lived in an analog world as a kid, and still having that desire to just be in nature. It's unfortunate that we're raising little humans now really without imagination, play, or magic. They just have that screen. And I think unfortunately too many, adults have forgotten imagination, play, and magic, because really that can turn like a huge percent of those 60,000 thoughts a day into that goosebumps, into that vision of what you really want. I think we just don't imagine anymore. Yeah, that's one of my things I would add is imagine, play, magic, Yeah.
We call it, my sweetheart and I call it to marinate something, before you go to sleep.
Yes.
And this is the danger, I think, when so many are watching a screen before they go to sleep, because that will marinate during your sleeping hours and be part of forming the next day. If you're watching Breaking Bad just before you go to sleep or whatever, like it will. Most people, it will affect you somehow, and you might wake up sort of like, whoa, on the same. Or if you, like you say, take the time to focus on something you want to accomplish, how would you like this to be even better, and then fall asleep with that, and then let it marinate during the night, and then it comes in, and it's like, this is a process. It's not something that comes easily to us, most of us, but it's a really good habit, I would say, to be part of creating something better all the time. Try to lift it, to purify it, to clean it.
Oh, absolutely. And I've had you for almost 2 hours, so I'll let you go. But one last thing is, as we're talking kind of about getting out of ruts, but also just how to live, a goosebump life, is Gordon White. He has a site called Rune Soup, and he's kind of a modern day mystic. And one of the things that he says is always look for guidance. Never, ask for guidance, ask the divine for guidance, and you'll find that it happens, and have that magical life. And it really will change, or it'll get better. I mean, not everyone is suffering. I mean, if you want to live a magical life, start to ask the divine for magic. Show me the magic, and it does for me, at least. And something he mentions is, he likes to say, I think this is a great prayer at night or anytime during the day, especially if you go to sleep pondering this. He just mentions, what is for me to do? And I kind of changed my version of that, is, what good is for me to do? I just like to be specific, And if you ponder that as you go to sleep or when you're meditating, and you're asking the divine, what good is for me to do? What good is for me to do? It's going to be there. I guarantee it. Yeah.
Can I end with a similar
of course.
thing?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to say, before every interview that I do, or presentation or whatever, I'm a one-man band living in a small little soap bubble, moving around. But I have devoted my life to get the truth, as far as I can see it, out there. And so it's important for me that it comes pure and from the heart. So what I try to do, or what I do, is I have this prayer, and it goes like this. Dear Gurudev, he was a bearded guru, a really funny guy, that for some reason I always ask, Dear Gurudev, all the saints and sages, and help me get my ego out of the way, and help me say the words that I needed to be said to whoever are listening, to lift this world to the next level of compassion, forgiveness, and wonderful, wonderful joy and success for everyone, abundance to everyone. All the angels, because apparently, I mean, I don't know, but I've been taught that for the angels to help us, and
Yes.
they're apparently around us all the time, many of them unemployed and being bored to tears because we have forgotten about them. But you have to ask. They're not allowed to act if we don't ask them for their assistance. So all the angels, and also all the angels, Michael, Gabriel, bring it on, the archangels, and the so-called deaf waiters. The deaf waiters, if I've been informed correctly, are a different type of angels that they cannot hear your words. They can only see your actions. Because empty words is one thing, you need to live it as well. So it's just like with a deaf waiter, you have to show it. What do you want? You have to walk your talk. So also all the deaf waiters, and then I call in all my ancestors, known and unknown, to assist me in doing exactly what I said. And then I go through my father, my mother, my grandmother, my this and that, some of the people, amazing people I met along the way here. My brother Cody Snodgrass, a whistleblower, Jim Morris, an incredible legend, Robin Falkov, Christine Kaufman, many people that have died on a strange, well, most of them have been topped off or whatever, but are there, I hope, on the other side as a fan club and backing team. Please help me accomplish this. And then thank you, boom. This or something better. I end with this or something better. And then when I don't, there's a few times where I did not do the prayer, and where I went in, only me with my ego. Not the same. And it's like people say there's something in your voice, there's something that just touched them. No, it's not me. It's because of that I think that it comes through the heart, and it resonates with somebody else's heart because of their backup. I'm just an empty flute that is delivering whatever is needed. So I hope this interview has been like that, because often, I'm not saying I'm channeling, but often like my sweetheart asks, so what did you talk about? I don't know. I can't really remember, but it was great. I feel really good. It's not that I'm just saying that when you let that back up and allow it through you, there's a different type of impact. And so I want to end with a prayer. I'm not a religious person. I think very often, unfortunately, religion is used as a control mechanism and sometimes even weapon against people, even though people that are religious and use it in a beautiful way, I completely applaud that. But anyway, I am not a religious, but I am a spiritual being like we all are. And so there's this prayer that I really, really love, and was given to me my spiritual teacher, Nelanie Chelaram. It goes like this. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. That's the entire universe. Every single square millimeter, whatever, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May everyone, and especially the ones who hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May the light of truth overcome all darkness, so victory to that light. Because the thing is, like, these bastards, these absolute assholes, these psychos that are doing all of these horrible things to us, I call them black angels on a higher level. I mean, super psychos like Hillary, or Hell Gates, or Fauci, or Henry Kissinger, whatever. The names of these, George Bush Sr., I mean, these are monsters in my way of seeing it, absolute horrendous monsters but without them, we would not have met. You, Craig, and I would not have had this conversation. So many millions of people would not have woken up because apparently we're too lazy. We need fire under our butt. We need super psychos and villains to shake us up. It's like we watching a Batman movie without the Joker. What would that be? There would just be this odd-looking guy in a costume driving around in a weird vehicle around and around the block over and over again. I mean, but in comes the Joker, and suddenly evil enters, and you got duality, and shoo-hoo, we got drama. Let's bring it on.
Yeah.
So it's thanks to them. I absolutely do not say yes to what they're doing. Their actions on a street level, horrendous. I would do everything I can to transcend it. But on a higher level, we have to thank these souls that are taking on so much bad karma to help us wake up. It's confusing. So this is also why I don't charge my observations with feelings. You bastard, you know, I see the evil. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu, if you ask me, an absolute monster. I don't even know human. I have no idea. Look at the actions, horrendous. Who are they worshiping? For sure, this one,
Yes.
who eats with a fork and got a very red complexion. I mean, but that's plus and minus in duality. You need the opportunity, this charge, so that we can choose. So indirectly, you can't blame them either. You can only think, oh, you did a great villain. My God, you are a super psycho. That is excellent in being a psycho. Phew, you have to give it to them. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that then gives me the possibility to choose. Do I want to join them? Do I want to become a serial killer? Do I want to become a saint? It's up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy. Stop whining, start shining. And, life is good. Life is delicious. Enjoy it. Enjoy the drama. If you have to be depressed, enjoy the depression, but don't dwell in it. Do not dwell in it. It's the trap, the dopamine kick we get out of these different, ups and downs. You get, sorrow is a drug as well. Sadness, you can get really addicted to it.
Yes.
The question is, do you want to go for it? But if you want something else, you need to cold turkey. I would suggest there is a way out. Not easy, not impossible.
There certainly is. Yeah. On the other side of fear, angels are waiting for us, every time. Yeah.
And beyond everything, the thing that you fear the most is a door. I tell you, I used to be terrified of speaking in public. I mean, I avoided funerals. I avoided weddings just in case somebody would ask me to say something. I was shaking. It was horrendous. And I managed to meet this fear through my Melanie I just mentioned before. And it's become my life.
Yeah.
Beyond, on the other side of that door that only you can open. So it needs to take courage. You are the one, the chosen one, to open the door. But behind it, if you'd manage, there is a diamond. And the diamond is you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the jewel in the center of the lotus flower. Absolutely. Well, Ole Dammegård, lightonconspiracies.com. That's a good place to start if you want to learn more about Ole, if you don't already know. Is there anything you would add as we turn the stream off?
I have devoted my life to that website. It is not just a website. It is, there's some 5,000 articles. There's 1,300 or more of my interviews. There are podcasts, there's sofa talks, there's daylights, there's a membership if you would like to finance, because somebody like me at this point is being hit very hard. It's been said that I'm one of the most censored people on the internet. What is going on? But anyway, other than they're not making it easy. So financially, if you would like to support, that is extremely appreciated. Donations, membership areas also. I got also what I believe is the biggest research vault in the world It's
Yes.
almost 8 terabytes of information in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different cases, where perfectly organized, and it is my whole life in that boom. And it is things that most of it I don't think you can find on the internet or anywhere else anymore, because it's being deleted as we speak. There's this book burning fire
Yes.
going on globally that is just erasing our past. And so I would be very grateful if people would help me keep this information and also spread it. So it's called Ola's Research Vault. And so and then just go out. It's not difficult. Just spread love.
Spread
Love
love.
is not weakness. We had this bearded guy, I know, but there a few thousand years ago, there was this bearded dude called Jesus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a super hacker. I really think that he was a super hacker, because what he found out was that it's a matter of frequency, and a higher frequency annuls lower frequency. You can see that in laboratories. And the highest frequency of all are love, the one that we call love, apparently, higher than the frequency of thought. And the lowest of the lowest is pure terror, fear, 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 fear. So he thought, I think, that, okay, so if a higher frequency annuls a lower frequency, meaning it's not that they fight, they just get annulled.
Yes.
Why don't you make it easy for yourself? So whatever the problem is, meet it with love. He did not say, be a wuss, turn the other cheek, pull down your pants. This was a really powerful individual. And of course, we thanked him by nailing him up to a cross. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But otherwise than that, good hack. The answer is love.
Yeah. I always loved how he ended some of the few words that we have. He oftentimes ended them with "Go and sin no more." Beautiful.
That is.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn the stream off. Thank you so much for being on, Oli.
Thank you, Craig.
All right.